Good day everyone, I am Cadet Abiera, Dr. Joseph. So our topic is all about the Conventions on the International Regulations for Preventing Collisions at Sea 1972 or Colreg 72, Rule 1 to 3. So the course outcome, the student will be able to learn about the Colreg 72, Rule 1 to 3. Learning outcomes. At the end of this lesson, the student will be able to understand about the conventions on the international regulations for preventing collisions at sea, Rule 1 to 3. Importance of the topic. The students will have knowledge about the Colreg 72, Rule 1 to 3. So, what is Colreg 72? Colreg 72. This is the rules of the road for the ship and other vessels at the sea. Here's about the short discussion about the Colreg 72. Colreg 72, published by IMO or International Maritime Organization. So, why it is important to us seafarers or maritime student? It is because Colreg 72 established rules to avoid collisions at sea. There are 41 rules in Colreg, so my fellow cadets will discuss about the Colreg 1 to 3.
So, good day sir. I'm Cadet Mihil Angkon. I will talk about Rule 1, which is application. So, this rule shall apply to all vessels upon the high seas and all waters connected therewith navigable by sea-going sails. These rules shall apply all vessels upon the high seas and all waters connected with their navigable sea-going vessels. So next is, nothing in this rule shall interfere with the operation of special rules made by an appropriate authority for roadsteads, harbors, rivers, lakes, or inland waterways connected with the high seas navigable by sea-going vessels. Such special rules shall conform as closely as possible to these rules. Special rules, local rules applies to roadstars, harbors, rivers, lakes, or inland waterways. These special rules must conform as closely as possible to the 1972 regulation. Mariners can find local regulation in Sailing Direction, Pilot Books, Guide to Port Entry. So the next is the nothing in this rule shall interfere with the operation of any special rules made by the government of the state with respect to additional station or signal lights, ships or vessels, or respect to additional station or signal lights or ships for fishing vessels engaged in the fishing aspect. This additional station or signal light ships vessels shall, so far as possible, be such that they cannot be mistaken for any light, ship or signal authorized elsewhere under these rules. So these are the authorized under by these rules. This type ships can use in a government issue special rules, and these are the samples: ships of wars, vessels under convoy, fishing vessels as a fleet, dracons, submarines, aircraft carriers. That was the simple of the government special rules. So the next is the traffic separation schemes adopted by the organization for the purpose of these rules. Whenever the government concerned shall be determined that the vessel of special construction purpose cannot comply fully with the provision of any of these rules with respect to the number, position, range, or arc of visibility lights apply. Such vessels comply with such provisions in regard number, position, range, or arc visibility of light shapes, as well as the deposit characteristic of sound signaling appliances, as her government shall have determined to the closest possible compliance with these rules. And respect of that all vessels, traffic separation schemes may be adapted the organization. Example, Rule 1. Exceptions in the rules may be made for vessels for construction. The question is, if you change the motor launch approach the port of Dublin and you meet large ferry, do the IRPC apply? The answer is yes, they do apply as you in a vessel on high seas and navigable waters connected to the high seas. Can government make modifications to the Colreg and additional station signal lights, shape, whistle signal, vessel proceeding under convoy station, or signal lights or shape for fishing vessels engaged in a fishing fleet? The answer is yes, governments are allowed to make modification to additional station or signal lights, shapes of the whistle signals for ships of war vessel proceeding under convoy and station or signal lights, or shapes for fishing vessels. So that was my topic. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I am John Nico. Today's video, we're going to talk about collision regulations number 2, which is the responsibility. In these rules, nothing in these rules shall exonerate any vessels or the owner, master, or crew. Therefore, for any consequence of any neglect to comply with these rules, or any neglect of any precautions which may be required by the ordinary of seamen or by special circumstances of the case. In construing and complying with these rules, due regard shall be had to all dangers of navigations and collisions and any special circumstances that might include, and the limitation as well as in these rules of the vessels involved which may make a departure from the rules necessary just to avoid any immediate danger. And these rules also allow us to make the departure from the Colregs only to avoid immediate dangers. Even in situations of immediate danger, it is not that we always have to take actions contrary to what is expected as per Colregs. We need to take into account the dangers of navigation, such as fishing, traffic on one side, or shallow part area on one side. After considering these dangers, if it's necessary to make a departure from the Colregs, we can also proceed. But we have to include the limitations of the vessels just involved. In deciding if the departure for the rules is necessary, we had also need to take into account the limitations of not only own vessel but other vessel as well. Let us say if you find yourself in a head-on situations or immediate danger situations with any vessels which is slow steaming, there are few vessels overtaking from your starboard side. On their snowy, you can alter your course to the starboard side. We have the limitations here, which means the VLCC cannot effectively alter her course. Considering this one is the limitations, it would be the best to quickly alter our course or our own ship course to port side, which is hard to port, just to avoid immediate danger. Even if the ship ahead of us who alter her course to starboard, she would have a very slow rate of turning her vessels into the starboard side, which we would not come in that which is he or she have a small rate of turning her vessel to starboard, which means we have the immediately response of turning our vessels into port side just to avoid collisions. And this is just one of the examples that we have to take into action as the responsibility, especially if we are officer on watch that time. And all this part of the rule 2 is asking us to consider the limitations of the vessel when deciding any departure from Colreg will be the best possible way to avoid immediately dangers. That's all. Thank you.
Good day, sir. I'm Cadet E. Wizar, and for today's video, I will talk about the Rule 3, which is general definitions. So, A. The word vessel includes every description of watercraft, including non-displacement craft, big craft, and seaplanes, used or capable of being used as a means of transportation on water. So, vessel means it is have machinery or no machinery as long as it is be transported in water. So, B. The term power-driven vessel means any vessel propelled by machinery. So, the power-driven vessel have machinery. So, the term sailing vessel means any vessel under sail provided that propelling machinery is fitted or is not being used. So, D. The term vessel engaged in fishing means any vessel fishing with net, lines, trawls, or other fishing apparatus which restrict maneuverability but does not include a vessel fishing with trolling lines or other fishing apparatus which does not restrict maneuverability. So, E. The term seaplane includes any craft designed to maneuver on the water. So, the word seaplane, it means that it can be maneuver on the water. So, the term F. The term vessel not under command, a means of a vessel which through some exceptional circumstance is unable to maneuver as required by these rules and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of other vessels. So, the term vessel restricted in her ability to maneuver means a vessel which from the nature of her work is restricted in her ability to maneuver as required by these rules and is therefore unable to keep out of the way of other vessels. The term vessel restricted in their ability to maneuver shall include but not be limited to a vessel engaged in laying, servicing, or picking up a navigation mark, and submarine cable or pipeline. A vessel engaged in dredging, surveying, or underwater operation. A vessel engaged in replenishment or transferring person, provision, or cargo while underway. Or a vessel engaged in launching or recovery of aircraft. A vessel engaged in mine clearance operation. A vessel engaged in towing operation as severely restrict the towing vessel in their tow in their ability to deviate from their course. So H. The term vessel constrained by her draft means a power-driven vessel which, because of her draft in relation to available depth and with a navigable water, is severely restricted in her ability to deviate from the course she is following. So, the word underway means that a vessel is not at anchor, or made fast to the shore or aground. So, the word length and breadth of a vessel means her length overall and greatest breadth. So, key. Vessels shall be deemed to be in sight of one another only when one can be observed visually from other. So, the term restricted visibility means any condition in which visibility is restricted by fog, mist, falling snow, heavy rainstorm, sandstorm, or any other similar course, while the term wing, in-ground, or weak craft means a multi-modal craft which in its main operational mode files in close proximity to the surface by utilizing surface effect